The world of social media is absolutely jam-packed full of tips, tricks, hacks, and strategies for how to maximize muscle growth. There's advice for how to work out, how to eat, and even for things like how to optimize sleep or to manage stress. The practically endless sea of advice and information is pretty incredible. Everything you could possibly want to know about maximizing muscle growth can be easily found online. The downside of all of that information is, of course, knowing how to navigate it all, knowing where to start, where to go next, and how to discern all of the contradictory information and advice that's out there. And those are some pretty serious downsides. It can all be pretty overwhelming. In this video, while showing you footage from my latest full body gym workout, I'm going to share with you, you guessed it, a few tips for maximizing muscle growth. That said, to avoid simply adding more noise to the already heavily saturated landslide of advice and information about how to maximize muscle growth found here online, I'm going to give you two pieces of advice that, at least from what I've seen, aren't shared nearly enough by fitness professionals. And I suspect that these two pieces of advice will have a profoundly positive impact on your rate of building muscle, and that they will also give you clarity rather than confusion on how to do so. Before we get started, if you find this video to be helpful, please consider hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel. It really helps me out. Okay, let's dive in. My first piece of advice for maximizing muscle growth is adopting what I'll call the long-term muscle growth mindset. What we often see online is the marketing and selling of programs, supplements, and even workout equipment that promotes getting muscle growth results incredibly fast. I'm sure you've seen this for yourself. Before and after photos of people who have made what looks like insane muscle growth progress over relatively short periods of time. 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks. Whether that be from doing a particular program, taking a fitness supplement, or using a certain piece of equipment. While many of those before and after photos are absolutely incredible transformations, they often bring about a false set of expectations to those that see them. They tell a story that says you can transform your body fast, which, to an extent, can be true. However, they fail to promote the long-term process of maintaining those results or continuing to get even better results over time thereafter. Rather, they glorify the short-term grind. This in itself can be problematic for a few reasons. First, as for many people, getting impressive short-term results is simply not in the cards. This could be because of their genetics, busy lifestyles, or lower level of natural talent toward lifting weights. Honestly, it took me personally years of consistently lifting weights myself before it ever became visually apparent that I even lifted weights. Second, it leads people to fixate on a short-term process to getting results, rather than a long-term solution to getting not only continued results over time, which is where the most impressive results come from, but even in just maintaining results. If, for example, the means in which you get results quickly over a short period of time is more of an unsustainable sprint-like approach, how could you possibly expect to uphold that means of making progress, and thereby continue getting results or even just maintaining them? Well, for many people, even most people, they can't. If the short-term means of getting results fast isn't sustainable after all, then results just won't last. So, what's the solution? Adopt the long-term muscle growth mindset. Instead of sprinting to get results as fast as is humanly possible by whatever means necessary, adopt an approach that you can sustain over a long period of time. Something that predictably leads to muscle growth, yes, but that won't inevitably lead you to burn out or fall off the wagon. Something that you can stick with truly for the long term. My second piece of advice is this. Try to block out the social media noise. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, there is a seemingly endless sea of muscle growth tips, tricks, hacks, and strategies found online. It's both an amazing thing and a terrible thing at the same time. It's amazing in the sense that you can easily access more information than you can possibly know what to do with it all. And it's terrible in the sense that there's so much information you can possibly know what to do with it all. And that really is a problem. There's so much information that it can lead to the feeling of overwhelm and second-guessing oneself. One of the most important pieces of advice I was given back actually in music school really rings true here in this context. My one-on-one bass trombone teacher in my undergraduate studies warned me to be careful about taking in all of the advice and information that was given to me by my peers, usually who were masters or DMA students who were ahead of me, and even the advice of other professors and ensemble directors. While they often did have good and great advice, much of it was still contradictory or just not helpful in a given context or situation for me personally. So even though much of it might have been good advice, it had the potential to be more confusing and overwhelming than to be actually helpful. My teacher's advice was to, instead of allowing myself to become overwhelmed and confused about all the different pieces of advice given, to try to block a lot of it out, and instead to focus on only a few very trusted people's advice at a given time and implement that advice. I think that advice is very helpful and relevant in this muscle growth context too. Instead of becoming overwhelmed by all of the muscle growth advice shared here on social media, I would consider blocking a lot of it out and instead focus on only a few or even just one trusted source of advice at a time. I found that has really helped me personally to avoid second-guessing myself or the workout and nutrition approaches that I've taken for building muscle, and thereby has helped me to build more muscle, to do it faster and more efficiently. My primary source of advice is my natural bodybuilding coach, Jeff Alberts. If you don't have a coach or getting one isn't an option for you right now, I would consider just following a single respectable fitness professional or two online and utilizing their advice at a given time. Otherwise, having a coach or mentor can truly be invaluable in this regard. And there you have it. 2 pieces of advice for maximizing muscle growth that, in my opinion, aren't talked about nearly enough. The first is adopting the long-term muscle growth mindset, and the second is to block out excessive social media noise. Both of these pieces of advice are ones that I've learned and implemented for myself that have had a profoundly positive impact on my own experience with maximizing muscle growth. So hopefully it helps you too. At this point, I'd love to know your feedback. Let me know your questions, thoughts, and insights in the comment section below. Before this video comes to a close, I want to quickly let you know about the work that I do. When I'm not making YouTube videos or Instagram content, I work full-time as an online physique coach, where I help my clients to accomplish their muscle growth and fat loss goals by optimizing their approach to strength training and nutrition, and I coach them through the process. I've been doing this work for over 7 years and love helping my clients to not only transform their bodies, but ultimately their lives. If you've been considering getting some help with accomplishing your own physique goals, feel free to hit the link in the description below, where you can learn a little bit more about the work that I do and how I can help you. You can even use that link to schedule a free video consultation with me. If you have any questions about my coaching or how I can help you, just email me at sam@jadeathletics.ca. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.